often young people whom they can pay little money because the others were being paid high salaries. So the 2 years has put now the level of service in the hotels lower than it was. That one I can tell you for sure, because almost all workers now are on training. The former highly trained workers are out of employment because either through collective agreements they were paid their terminal benefits because they could not wait for 2 years without work. Others had aged up. So there has not been a proper transition after COVID. Apart from only those hotels that understand service as a priority, who are trying to call back the former employees to come and train the others. So if you go in any hotel today, the level of service is low. Recently, one person told me, because he's a hostess in Benin, I'm not talking of Uganda, a hostess in the restaurant, and had finished eating, then asked her to clear, and she tells him, no, that's not my work. I will call the people who clear. You can imagine. But a hostess of a restaurant can say like that. But when I watched with somebody, when I asked how long have you been here, says this is my 6th month. So you see, that is the level, and this is affecting the whole of Africa, maybe the whole world, because many people here lost employment. But for us in Uganda, you can see that the level of training of our is still low. We have not reached the Utari level. The hotel institute is being built of Ginger. I think that's when we shall reach that level. I can tell you there are a lot of mushrooming training institutions, but they bring out half-baked employees. We have the biggest number of training institutions that I can think really they're not very up to standard are in the Western Uganda, the Western Axis, Rwenzori region. And you'll see that most waiters we have today, if you go to the group, Sudiri, Ruparelia group of companies, whatever, they are from the Wakonjo area. Short, professionally, those could be the best waiters. But what is the level of training? Well, what is the level of formal education? Many of them are S2 dropouts, S3 dropouts, S4, whatever. So the level of appreciation to a guest is still low. The level of training was low. And it is the region that can accept any salary. And it has been a challenge during negotiations because for them they can take any salary. So we have tried as much as possible to ensure that we upscale this. But legislatively, we have done our role. As far as collective agreements are done in the trade union, we are doing our role. As far as a stakeholder engagement, we are trying, because not all employers are up to that scale. For them, all they are looking at is profit. They forget that you can get more profit if you have professional employees. You'll get more, because you'll get what we call repeat business, because people will be coming back because they know that when I go there, I will have a best service. I can tell you, when I was working at Sheraton in the late 90s, even today, if you see, there is a walkway that had been made between Imperial Group of Hotels to Sheraton. But the person who made it even closed it, because instead people were moving from Grand Imperial to go to Sheraton because there was a better service at Sheraton, and that was closed. Imperial was very new, Sheraton was leaking, but a guest would say, even if this place is leaking, you push my bed in the other corner, but I'm sure we'll get a better service here. These are all our member organizations. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not belittling any, but I'm trying to tell you the importance of professional service.
The issues of concerning hospitality management and training in this country, I think it is taking shape. I remember in the Ministry of Education and Sports, and even if you look at the Education White Paper of 1992, there's issues of skilling Ugandans, including the areas of hospitality management and skills training were emphasized. And when there was a reform in 2008, with the enactment of the BTVET Act number 12, the issue of hospitality was given a long consideration. So I think what the country has to do now, through the TVET policy in place now, they have to make sure that certain institutions are set aside. Not only the one in the Ministry of Trade, Tourism and Cooperatives, but even in the education sector itself. We need an institution that should specialize in the training of people in the skills in the areas of hospitality. I'll give you an example. Currently, tourism industry is one of the service sectors that are bringing a lot of money in the country. But you get surprised if you look at the managers of these big hotels and tourism facilities. Most of them are from our neighboring countries, which I want to name now. I want to name it now. So we also, as a government, have a Hotel Tourism Training Institute in Jinja. This institution is under the Ministry of Trade, Tourism and Cooperatives, under the Ministry of Tourism actually, under the Ministry of Tourism. Whereas they are trying to do their best, we still feel a lot have to be done. So we're expecting to, as a committee of Parliament and the Parliament itself, we expected to review the BTVET Act to amend it. That area we are going to give it attention so that the government is able to get, or the public is able to get the quality people with the right skills that can help us and work in those industries. And I believe that one will make an impact on the revenue that is generated through the tourism industry.
If I were to quantify the specific number of master bartenders that we need in order to be able to make Uganda competitive on the scale, say for example, of Kenya, we're looking in the thousands. We're looking in the thousands. We need thousands more highly qualified bar professionals. And that's not only master mixologists. Those are service captains. Those are restaurant and hospitality service managers. Those are the individuals who work behind the scenes to develop menus and to establish a standard of service delivery that is on par with global standard. And I think that's one thing that we're going to have to keep mentioning as we refer to Diageo Bar Academy is we are trying to leverage an awareness of international best practices. So many times people come to Uganda and they love the beauty of our nation. However, they lament certain elements of service delivery that they experience here. And what we are aiming for is to put service delivery in the hospitality sector in Uganda on par with international best practices. So whatever it is that we must teach, whatever it is that we must do to influence, and the knowledge that we must deliver in order to not only help the employees of these establishments, but the owners and managers who influence the culture of consistency of that standard. Whatever we must do in order to be able to achieve that is what we're setting out to do with this year's Diageo Bar Academy program, and it will continue to scale up. From 2,000, we're aiming for 10,000 in the next year. So we're really ambitious to make sure that we, as Diageo and Uganda Breweries, deliver significant impact at every level of hospitality service delivery.
So there you have it. When you look at the hospitality sector in Uganda, especially when it comes to the training institutions that bring out these particular employees that will be employed to the hotels, for example. And this is a sector that is very sensitive to the kind of services being rendered out. Because remember, the more people you employ, they speak a lot about the kind of customers that you're attracting. Because your employee or the particular person who is actually being given the job says a lot about the customers who will be coming, which customers will be staying, and which ones are going to leave by complaining at the end of the day. So producing of half-baked employees affect actually affecting the entire industry, if you're to look at that. But especially for the stakeholders in here, they do believe that it's better to at least have skilled employees who enter into the market and will be able to attract more clients and customers. This is more like a service sort of industry, if you are to ask me. But well, besides that, now let's get into the story preview. As tonight in the business today, we do expect to be having top stories from the world of business. And joining us this morning, we do have Rona Nahawe, who is going to take us through what she is working on tonight, something that you should be highly expecting in tonight's bulletin. Good morning, Rona. How are you doing?
Good morning, Ssonko. How are you? How's the rain? How's the weather?
It's very terrible this morning. It's really cold. And I can only tell you today, as I was coming in here, it was really cold and not so many people were out, because I believe some people are actually waiting for the rain to first calm down a bit, but it's still drizzling in most parts of Kampala. So it's something that you can easily know it's not easy to live with.
Yeah, definitely something needs to be done on those roads.
Yeah.
Okay, away from that, what we should expect today in business today is that CRT in Uganda is holding a multi-stakeholder dialogue on seed governance and farmers' rights.
Okay.
And in this, of course, this is preceded by the recent press conference or event that was held by the Ministry of Agriculture, who asserts that 40% of the agricultural inputs being sold in Container Village are fake.
Okay.
So this is big. I mean, if you look at the agricultural products, and the agriculture is the backbone of the country.
Very true.
Last year it contributed 24.1% to the GDP. So if you are not certain of that type of food commodities you have in the market, so we should expect a food crisis really, and expect even worse for where we export.
Oh, okay.
So something needs to be done, and I think this dialogue will address some of those issues, and so we need to expect a lot from that.
Oh, okay. Speaking of the seed governance, looking at this quality of the seeds, I think it is something that our farmers clearly need to at least have an idea about, especially those who are into the export, and especially those in the export. Because I believe the kind of seeds that you use should at least meet the international standards, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a certain chemical called Maxil. I think it's sprayed mainly on tomatoes and beans and other agricultural produce. And what it does is it's very harmful. It's a fungicide. It's very harmful, and it is even worse when it has to be because you know when you wash away the skin from the tomatoes, it is washed away. And if it even gets worse when it's sent to water bodies, it's very harmful to the aquatic life. So you can see how coarse the effect is really. So this dialogue, I hope for myself and I hope for Ugandans as well, we'll be able to address certain issues and come up with certain implementations and considerations for farmers who plant, who grow, and who rely mainly on agriculture. Okay.
Lastly, before we let you go and work on that particular report, if to ask, which other stakeholders do we expect from this particular meeting this morning?
So we should expect definitely representative or the head himself from Food Alliance and Ministry of Agriculture, definitely. We should expect that. And then the ED of CRT herself. Yeah, so we are hoping for a fruitful conversation really.
Okay, and of course, do look up to that particular report from Rona Nahawe tonight in the Business Today edition. So it's something that you should be ready to watch. Business Today is airing Monday to Friday at 9 p.m. and also the Business Edition on Sundays at 8 p.m. giving you a roundup of these top stories of the week. So that is it from the story review this morning. After the break, meanwhile, Smart Means Business will continue, and this time around with the SMB on ground with Barita Andrew.